All right, welcome back everyone to Fireside Pride 2024. I am still Mina, and we are ready to kick off that Spyro run. Again, there is a color bid war that is going to be closing in less than a minute, so if you have any strong opinions about Spyro's color, now's the time, ! Donate, get those in right now. And while y'all scramble to do that, I'm going to let Soul very slowly introduce herself and the run so that we can give y'all a chance to get those last minute votes in. Soul, take it away, my friend.
Yes, hello. I'm back. I'm back yet again. If you didn't like the Kirby run, I have bad news for you. I'm here again with Spyro. If you liked it, great news. I'm here again with Spyro. But yeah, we have before us the unpainted Spyro in his natural habitat. Marvel at his horns and wings and the neat little shades that he has on. Those stay on, by the way. But as Mina said, we're very close to closing that bid war, and I think we actually are going to be closing it now. So, Mina, if you would tell me which color actually won so we can paint our lovely friend here.
All right, let me refresh the page one more time, and then I'm going to lock it. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be purple unless someone snipes it in the next 5 seconds, but we'll see. All right, that bid war is officially closed at this point. And the winner, to no surprise, as I just mentioned, purple did take a commanding lead at the last minute. And it is going to be purple.
All right, in that case, I have input the thing. You can now see it. He is all purple. All right, let's actually get this started. So, I'm going to select the file. We're going to select the game, and this will start. Actually, give me a second. There we go. All right, this will start in 3, 2, 1, go. So this game, so we have like a whole cutscene here. We're gonna skip it. You don't need to know too much. Short version. Do I call him friend, enemy? I'm not sure, but we have one, the nasty to Nord. These other dragons crash talk to him. He takes it very personally, as you do. And now they're statues. And that's it, you're caught up on the plot. Also, we have this whole kind of big loaded sequence. This will take a fair bit of time, but it'll be well worth it. But this does give me time to explain like the point of the run. So, as mentioned, this is Spyro 1, 80% NBS, which stands for No Balloonist Step. There is in the second hub of this game, the Peacekeepers world, there's this giant step you can do with the balloonist that lets you go to a completely different balloonist that's on the map apparently. And you can use that to go to anywhere else in the game. So they use that to just go straight to the final boss. That is not what we're doing here. So for this run, instead, we are basically doing everything legit. Like, we're actually gonna have to play through most of the levels, collect a lot of gems. We're gonna need 6,000 total by the end of the run. We're gonna be collecting several dragon eggs. We need 5 of those. But most of those are gonna be in the world where they're actually relevant. So they won't really come up right now. By the way, we are done with our first stage.
Amazing.
Yeah, Stone Hill honestly takes longer to almost longer to load than it does to actually go through. Unfortunately, the Saints load times are not the best, even if you run this on an SSD like I am. But yeah, we need 6,000 gems, 5 eggs, and 51 dragons. And 51 sounds like a very arbitrary number. That's because it is. And there's a reason for that. We really only need 50, but certain reasons mean we have to collect 1 extra, but it's at the end of the run, near the end of the run, and there's a good reason. It's mostly just the final boss. But yeah, a lot just kind of happens at once. This run has most of the downtime in this run is really just going to be stuff like this when I'm loading in the stage, because this the load times are a little bit on the long side, and that it's good for that, but that's about it. Slight font flare, that's okay. Fun trick here. I'm gonna get this dragon. I'm gonna skip the cutscene. I'm gonna position myself as so. I think I messed it up a little bit. That's fine. We'll just try it again.
Hi, Spyro.
We can easily replay any and all dragon cutscenes, including this one. So we just do this again, over and over until I did it right. And that... Okay, there we go. So that trick is called a fairy proxy, and the very short explanation is by positioning ourselves in a certain way that we get kind of nudged by the dragon going away. We basically get popped up on top of a now non-existent statue. If we move at all, the game will remember, hey, we're not actually on the ground, and it will react accordingly and we'll start falling. But I have just enough time to just kind of work with that and jump onto a platform that normally takes a lot of extra work to actually get. And also I'm gonna do this so we can go back to the hub. This saves about 10 to 15 seconds just because I don't have to go halfway across the hub to get back to where I'm going. And it lets me get this dragon light right now. But there's a lot of ways that trick can go wrong. For example, like you just saw, if I don't get nudged at all, nothing happens. If I am nudged further away from it than I intend, then instead of just getting popped up on top of it, I go flying. You will instead see Spyro just kind of like zoom off into the stratosphere. You see like the little map on the lower left. You'll see the icon for Spyro just kind of just go completely out of bounds and off the screen even. My chat has referred to, I have one in my chat that has referred to that as going orange because of the sunset. They react to that with disdain these days because they made the mistake of playing Spyro Orange. And I feel bad. I don't really have much else to say. I've never played that game, but I have heard of it and I've seen enough about it to know it's a game. But yeah, we're already in our second hub. We're in Peacekeepers now. Very ironic name considering for a place called the Peacekeepers, there ain't a whole lot of peace going on. But you saw people with, like, cannons and everything. But kind of the same thing applies. To get out of this hub, like, to get out of the first hub, we needed 10 dragons, and honestly, Artisans doesn't give us just as much in the way of gems at all. So, really, we just kind of want to get out of there as soon as we can. This one, however, we need a certain amount of gems. I believe it's around 1,200. And this is where we're going to start, like, really getting into, like, the meat of the run and, like, what this run actually entails. And it's going to be a lot of just fast routes through the levels, grabbing basically whatever's convenient and overall just efficient. So you'll see me taking down some enemies because the enemies give us gems. You'll see me get a lot of dragons because I'm hitting the wrong button to skip that. Fast 4 is, he's there. He's a friend. We're actually almost done with this stage. We do have a really tricky jump coming up. Let's see if we can get that. That looks good. Don't mind that. That happens sometimes. But we made it, and that's the important detail. But here we go. We got Maximos. We're done. We leave. Very, very straightforward. Very simple thing. Pretty much as soon as we grab literally anything in the stage, the game says you've collected it, and you can do whatever you want from that point onward. You can keep going into stage. You can go through the return home portals, which are at the quote-unquote end of the stage. Or you can just go into your pause screen, exit stage, and that's fine too. You can even go into the guidebook, go to a different area entirely. It will still track all of it as soon as it gets a chance to track it. That said, the guidebook only shows up that one time in the run. Any other time, we never need it. Like, we're just gonna leave stages. But we have Cliff Town now. And this is going to be where we get our first Dragon Egg. So for the hub after this one, we have the Magic Crafters. We actually need, that's actually where the bulk of the eggs are in the game. and we need 5 total eggs to get through that world. We're gonna be getting like 3 of them during that world, and the other 2 we done them here. And most of them are in the hands of these little thieves. You'll know when they're there because they will do like a little jig, and then they'll just go, and you heard them. They'll just go like like you can't get them. It's a great indicator to know, oh yeah, there's a thief here, and also it'll make you want to go after them because how dare they taunt you? But I'm going to be grabbing these. Let's see if we can get these stair jumps. That's fine. That's actually very good still. Just very quick spin with the fire so I didn't get not only them, but both of the pots. Get all the jumps on the way back over. And there we go. We did Enzo. We got 1 more drag we're going to dip, but we're not quite done when we do that. There's still going to be a little bit more we do. And I'm going to go over here, grab these. Get our good friend Marco in a second. As soon as I did this vulture, I need to get the gems from you. Thank you. There we go. We found Marco, last name Polo. I don't actually know if that's his last name. That joke just kind of lived in my head ever since I saw the name. And then we're going to get these last few gems here, leave the stage as we've been doing. And now we're going to just set up. We're going to do a little bit of setup in the hub because there's a little bit more we want to grab. Some very convenient gems we can get. There's a even more convenient edge we can get. Another dragon. It's kind of a little shopping trip, as it were. You know. Never mind the implications of a shopping trip that involves dragon statues, gems, and eggs. Very weird set of stores we're going to. I know. But after this, sorry.
Women do be shopping.
That's true. That's true. But we're gonna make our way over here. And this will be the first of several flight stages we'll have in the run. So to give a very short premise, these stages will be going through different things like rings or attacking certain enemies. And the focus on these is try to just do it, because if we mess up at all, we have to redo the entire thing. As such, I'm going to focus a little bit. So, Mina, if you've got any messages you'd like to give, this would be a great time for them.
Yeah, I got a couple, actually. So, first off, I do want to remind everyone that we do have the Metal Gear Solid upgrade category to Extreme Incentive open right now, and that is our next run. So, we're running out of time on that one. We did get a $25 donation from Caro going towards that with a nice little comment here. Hi everyone, hope it's an amazing event. I'll be cheering everyone on from home. Stay cozy. Donation goes to upgrading Nick RP Green's MGS1 run to Extreme. I hear he's pretty good. So thank you, Caro, for that donation. We're still a ways off from that one. We need $300 total to get to that one. Tiltify did an oopsie, so it actually says $275. Don't worry about that. And then there was an anonymous donation for $5 going towards that incentive as well. So thank you both for bringing us $30 closer to that run. Just a reminder, with Tiltify, you can select both a target and a poll for Bid Wars. And please make sure if you're donating towards a specific incentive that you are selecting it, because Tiltify can be a little tricky with those, and we do not have any way to go back and change it if you do not select your incentive. And as a reminder, all these donations are going towards Point of Pride. They are our partner for this event. You can learn more about them with exclamation point charity. But as a TLDR, they are a trans-led 501c3 nonprofit organization, and they do all sorts of great stuff for the trans community. They have a lot of different grants and garment programs that you can apply for if you think that that is something that they can help you out with. You can have more info on that at exclamation point charity. They've served tens of thousands of people in all 50 states, 100 plus countries, providing access to gender-affirming health and wellness services, and a whole lot more. It's a great cause. But anything that you can donate does help, and if you can't afford to donate anything because money is hard, and we understand that, just spreading the word about the event and getting more people over here to check out what we're is a huge help too. So whether you're donating $5, $50, or just hanging out with us, we appreciate you being here and supporting what we're doing. Back to you, Sol.
Yeah, so we kind of just stemmed over this whole thing. So there's also what the game calls like more or less a boss stage. I hesitate to call them boss fights because they're not really a fight. It's more you're chasing this one particular character down. That is the second one, Dr. Shemp, and we don't even go for the boss. We just go there for some convenient gems and a free dragon, pretty much. Unfortunately, Shemp does not give us many gems at all, so it's not worth doing the fight. So instead, we do that, we leave, we're going into Ice Tavern, and then we're actually done with Peacekeepers. And the funny part, despite the how this area looks, where it's like completely like covered in ice and everything, it looks like it'd be very slippery. Spyro has some amazing traction, and we don't have to worry about that problem at all. In fact, ice fists don't even come into play until I think like the second or third game in the series, so luckily we have a little while until that's an issue. Unfortunately, Spyro cannot swim, so any body of water you see in this game, I am actively trying to avoid it because otherwise Spyro does not like to drink, does not like the water.
So can I jump in again real quick with something else?
Yes, go for it.
Speaking of the donation incentives and the polls, we did just open up a few more polls that I forgot to mention in my last little blurb. We have the various costume bid wars for the Backpack Hero run that will be happening later on this afternoon. That is going to be a very fun run brought to us by our very own staff's trainer, Anade. And if you're into Resident Evil 4 06 inventory management, this is a game that you want to check out. It's literally just RE4 inventory, the game. It's really cool, and there's several different costumes to put your donations towards. So if you have any strong opinions about those costumes, you can go ahead and start making your voice heard by voting with your wallet. Just the way democracy was intended to be. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, groan.
Yeah, I think I've only ever played the demo to Backpack Hero, and RE4 management, the game, it's definitely an active description. By the way, I'm gonna leave this stage real quickly because otherwise they will throw a snowball at me. I have absolutely been too slow on that, and you'll hear Spyro just get hit with a snowball, have like the weird dizzy sound, and it's like, oh, that happened. Anyways, we're gonna grab one last dragon here. There's Madness. You don't have to worry about him. He's there. He's a friend. And then we leave. We've gone way more than enough gems to get out of this particular hub. We now have half the dragons we need. Honestly, we'll be fine for that. Like I said, we already have 2 eggs, and we're gonna be doing our last 3 during this one. In fact, we're gonna get 2 of them in one stage. And we're just gonna grab 1 in the hub because this one has the most eggs in the run. There's like 7 in this one, and then you don't see any more after that. But you get a little bit of a glimpse of what this place looks like. For not quite water, it's more like a kind of like a weird magic goo. And that's why it actually hurts Spyro in this case. In fact, that is a thing that shows up in later games. There is a later game where that hazard actually does return, and they very clearly mark that it is not water. Anyway, the Druids are mean. They'll do stuff like that and laugh at us, but joke's on them. We have the weird little fan chest where once we send it flying, the top of it will actually home in on the nearest object or enemy that it can on screen. Unfortunately for the Druid, it's them. So it'll just kind of fly right into them, take them down, send the thing back down so we can get the other enemy there and get into Alpine Ridge. With a fair amount of gems for it, for that matter. Also, this is where the game decides it's going to be a little more precarious about platforms and stuff. There's a lot of open areas here where we can just kind of fall if we're not careful. Again, the druids are also surprisingly mean, and they'll actively troll us in different ways. For example, that one will manipulate the stairs and turn it into a slope so we can't actually climb it. You're gonna see one in a couple seconds here, and they open and close this one gate. That one right there. Now, I'm gonna be taking extra time to get these extra gems here, so they're gonna pull it back up. Fun fact, this is dictated by frame rate. The lower your frame rate, the more consistent that thing actually works. If you're playing this at a more standard frame rate, like say 60 or higher FPS, the game will actually make those take a little bit longer. It's one of the reasons I don't run this at 60. I run it at 50 FPS. Weirdly enough, I know that sounds weird, but the frame rate dictates a surprising amount. For pretty much everything concerning Spyro is handled by the frame rate. The lower the frame rate, the better, actually. So if you want more jump height, you actually want to run the game at a slower frame rate than normal. Because otherwise, for what it's worth, jump height is mostly fine. If you're playing this casually, this is no real issue. Before a speed run, we actually do kind of need that extra height sometimes, and there are certain jumps that we actually can't make otherwise. So normally if I'm doing runs of this, you would actually see an FPS counter showing 50 FPS. So it's just a Steam overlay. Also we're done here. But yeah, you'll see people running at that. You'll see some running even lower, sometimes on 37 to 30 FPS. And it's purely for mechanical reasons rather than the game just performs weird. It's very much Spyro. Spyro himself is weird, and this makes him more consistent, or makes him do stuff that we otherwise would actually be unable or just otherwise struggle to do. By the way, we're still going to be in some precarious positioning because we have high caves now, and we have a really fun couple of jumps that's coming up. Nothing too bad, but this is also where the game introduces us to certain other mechanics. You saw this little ramp I just kind of went up with these little arrows. That is called a supercharge panel, and the short version is Spyro gets the zoomies and can crash through a lot more things when he's doing that. He also moves way faster. And if you're playing this on PC, there are people who will switch to keyboard and mouse for that because the camera actually is how our turner speed works. Again, there's a weird mechanic in this game in terms of how stuff works. Although this is kind of just all around. The Reignited Trilogy in general is this way. And I think so are the PS1 originals, but I don't have a frame of reference. I've never played the originals. Also, I'm going to grab the extra health for safety and kind of stall these out a bit. And these are the jumps I was talking about. These druids will just kind of move these two really big pillars. If we're not careful, it's very easy to just bonk into them instead. And that will just send Spyro going to it, just falling off. That's it. The dragon falls the end. We're in a safer section now, though, because this section here, we cannot fall. If we do, there's these fairies that'll come to our aid and pull us back over. And here's the supercharge panel. Here's the thing I mentioned a minute ago, and here's what it does. So I didn't run through those now. Instead of having to do that weird jump, I can run through those and take no damage doing it. It is incredibly safe. And there were some absolutely wild things you can do with this at top level. I guess small shoutouts to the person who effectively taught me this run on some capacity, Toasted Cat. They are also the world record holder for this game, for this category. And the stuff I have seen them do with that is great. It's stuff that you actually do need a keyboard and mouse for. I play this on controller, so I am never doing those. but it's really cool to watch. There's a lot of stuff that can... I say there's a lot of stuff that is on this run, and there is. But it is definitely more so when we're talking about stuff like... Again, the higher level stuff. Stages like Hightaze and Wizard Pete. Wizard Pete is also pretty supercharge heavy. And also, we got these enemies as well to worry about now. And these things are surprisingly fast with their club swings. So I want to be very proactive about getting them first, because they will hit me otherwise. And that will not be what I want. We want Spyro here to stay nice and healthy. Wow, that was a very narrow dodge. Anyway, it's time for supercharging. So we're gonna grab these, take one enemy, grab these two while we're here, because we're just kind of gonna keep going. Get across here. Grab our quick gems. You can hear the edge thief right there. That's one of our remaining eggs. There's number 4. And number 5 will be for end, but we're going to take a quick death so we can warp ourselves back to our checkpoint. And then we're going to do, kind of repeat the process. So, a little bit more supercharging. I'm going to quickly turn around. Get this one. Get this chest, because that chest would otherwise require a key or a supercharge. I'm going to actually wait. And that's why I'm going to wait. Those enemies are not the ones we gotta worry about. It's these ones, because they all just smash around with a giant club. And if we get this right, there we go. That's our final edge. We're done with edge for the rest of the run. In fact, after we leave this hub, there will be no more edge, period, in the game. So we kind of have to be done. And ow. And that's what happens if we're not fast enough on the club. That's what happens instead. We get smacked in the head. And poor Spyro is not happy about that. He does flinch.
Would it make your head feel better if we talked about donations?
Definitely. This would be a great time for them, since we're about to do another flight stage.
All right, good deal. We did get $5 from another staffer, Leggy Starscream, coming in. Here's my $5 for both the Caveman outfit and the MGS Any % Extreme incentive. Let's keep working to get MGS met. Every $5 counts. And that is so true. And that is going to be my challenge to you, chat. Can we get a $5 train going to get Metal Gear Solid met? We're still a ways off from that. Again, that is our next run. Assuming Spyro goes well, it will be starting in less than an hour. So if you want to see that category get upgraded to the hardest difficulty in the game, you got to get started on that, chat. It's going to change the run completely. It's a much harder category. It's a lot of fun to watch. You definitely don't want to miss it. And actually, on that note, we do have an anonymous no comment quote from Non-Binary Code. Pretty sure I did that right. Anyways, trans right, and that did go to Metal Gear Solid, so we are $50 closer, and that actually brings us to $700 even raised so far during the marathon. So give yourselves a pat on the back, everyone. That is huge. We're not even 12 hours total into the marathon, and we've already gotten this far. And all that money is going to Point of Pride, which is a great organization that does a lot of great stuff for the trans community. So make sure you keep those donations rolling in, and definitely make sure you're selecting your incentives and voting on your bid wars. You can do both.
Yeah, Tiltify can be a little bit weird. It likes to default to neither, and it's very easy to just be like, get your donation in, and then to kind of forget to do the other part, or think it's going to be like on another page or something. Yeah, definitely get those in. I'd love to see us reach like 800 by the end of the run. Cause we're about halfway in, ish. We got like maybe a half hour, about a half hour left in the run, ideally, unless something really bad happens. Hopefully that doesn't. But if it does, hey, that means more time for maybe getting did that extreme incentive. I can't say I've seen a lot of MGS runs, so it'd be neat to see the extreme run happen.
Yeah, we're exactly $200 away from that run, chat. So, again, I'm making the call right now. $5 train. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's see us collect the donations. Let's see us collect the donations like Spyro collects gems. And trust me, he collects a lot of gems. I would know. I'm speedrunning it right now. Anyways, this is Blowhard. He is just... That's him. Off he goes on an adventure. He did actually push me when he does that, by the way, so I'm glad he didn't. This is also the one stage where we did almost everything in the stage. Like, we did all the dragons because there's only one. We did almost every gem. We skipped about 12 or so at the 400. And I'm playing that slow because I have recently been having problems there where I spawned into the druid and then die because I cannot recover once that happens. But we'll see if we get quick kill on Blowhard there as he goes into the final segment. And that was actually very nice. And there we go. We've gone in basically the entire Blowhard stage. And we're done with Magic Crafters even, so we're gonna be making our way to our not second to last because we still have two more hubs. We have another hub after this one. But what if I said it really only gets trickier from here because now we have Beastmakers and Beastmakers has some decently difficult stage. And also a very tricky jump that's going to be coming up in Terrace Village, where if I'm not careful, we might die multiple times. That's the thing that can happen. Also, these chests are weird. Sometimes they just don't take. Also, I see some mention in the PS1 version's graphics for like certain things. I have seen the PS1 version. I've seen quite a bit of it. I've just never personally played it, but yeah, I'm very familiar with the Dorito bullets. And I have to agree, they were tasty. Spyro, however, disagrees, to which I say still issue. But also maybe he just doesn't like Doritos, and you know what? That's fair.
I mean, he may not like Doritos, but I bet he likes tickets to the $5 train.
I guarantee you he loves the $5 train, and I hope to see more join in as well.
And we actually did have a few join in, if you want to hear about it.
Sure, honestly.
We got Alice Fujatsu jumping on the $5 train. $5 train. And that is, of course, going to Metal Gear Solid Any Percent Extreme. Scala as well, buying 3 tickets on the train. Thank you, Scala. And that's going towards the same donation, so that's $20 closer. We still have a ways to go on that one, though, chat, and we're running out of time. We still have... I can't do that mental math in my head. 200 minus 20, $180 to go on that incentive.
I was about to say 180.
So, like, keep buying those tickets on the $5 train. You do not want to miss that Any Percent Extreme upgrade. That's going to be a ton of fun. And don't forget, you can also donate for the Backpack Hero costume choice. If you have any strong opinions about those, Siltify does let you do both a bid and a goal incentive. Make sure you're selecting both before you donate, because we have no way of going back and fixing that if you do.
Yeah, but yeah, also that jump is very difficult. That's the jump I was talking about. If you mess it up, you die. There's no in between for that one. You make it or you don't. And it's a very important jump because the alternative is to go completely around the stage, to get to a very high part of it. Use that to get over to that same platform that I finally reached. And it's a whole thing that takes a lot of time to actually do. So obviously we really don't want to do it. It is actually faster if we die to just reattempt it. But it can be a very tricky part of the run. It's very easy to game over if you keep not getting it or just missing it, and it's a very tight jump. Because Spyro has to like do a little, kind of like a little pop-up to get onto it. Otherwise he just won't actually reach. But we have our second to last flight stage coming up, and this one's going to be a bit of a doozy, but until then, we do have a bit of gem collecting we're going to be doing. So we're going to be grabbing these, taking out a couple of these fours here. We have to use the flame because they can actually overpower us if we charge into them. And then we're going to also get our friend Cletus here. He's thankful for releasing them, but he has to go. So we'll be seeing him actually very soon. He is one of several dragons that you end up re-rescuing during the final hub. Some of them try to like go after North themselves to kind of deal with the whole situation, but he immediately just kind of gets them as a result, and Cletus is one of them. So shout out to Cletus, he tried his best. But anyways, as we go into this flight stage, same subs before, I'm going to be focusing. So Mina, if there's any new passengers on the $5 train, I'd love to hear about it.
I don't know if this is for the $5 train, but we did just get a donation from Carissa for $5.11.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, no. Oh, it's for Spyro's donation hoard, they're saying. And then another 11 cents for luck. So, big shout-outs to Carissa for being the first person to donate cents and not just full dollars. So now we have some cents on the board. That brings us up to $725.11 total. And that, of course, is also going to Metal Gear Solid 80% Extreme. We're still quite a ways away from that one, though, y'all. We still have quite a ways to go. So if you want to see that incentive get met, we still have about $175 to go on that. Make sure you're getting your donations in. Make sure you're selecting that incentive, and also Backpack Hero costumes if you have any strong opinions about those. All the money that we're raising, again, we're going to be sending over to Point of Pride. You can learn more about them with exclamation point charity. And as Anade just mentioned in the chat, exclamation point donate. If the donation link ever disappears, you can find it there. And there's lots more information down in the panels below the stream as well. The schedule, the donate link. You can learn more about us as an organization here at Power with Pride. Our socials there as well. So, yeah. But the main thing right now is we want to see that Metal Gear Solid 80% Extreme upgrade. So, if you're going to get on the $5 train, you are running out of time. That train is going to be pulling out of the station very soon, so get those donations in.
Yeah, you've got maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes plus setup time.
Yeah, so I honestly probably closer to 30, but still, it's not a lot of time. You're gonna want to get those in sooner rather than later if you can. And if you can't, that is okay. There will be other incentives and stuff that we got a lot of marathon ahead of us. So don't worry about that. But we want to see more marathons. So come on,
yeah, absolutely.
You want to see it go extreme. You want to see it be extreme.
Yeah, we definitely want to hit that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I am going to just remind you all, like, we know Christmas is around the corner. Hanukkah is happening. There's other holidays this time of the year as well. It is a financially difficult time for a lot of folks, and the economy is also not great for most of us. So if you can't spare anything, we do understand. Just having you here, hanging out, and being part of the event and chat, lurking, watching the runs is huge help. But again, anything that you can give does go to a great cause. And to answer Chris's question, how are you the first person to donate cents? I'm pretty sure it's because you were the first person to donate cents. I think it's just that simple. Everyone else was donating cool dollar amounts.
Yeah, by the way, this stage has a lot. There's a lot of very dangerous enemies, lots of not hard platforming, but certainly tricky platforming, and that poor enemy is not showing up for Spyro 2. Just that board made sure that they were it was over for them. Sometimes that happens. The enemies can defeat each other in certain situations. You saw it in Wizard Peak, and it happens here too. But actually, we're surprisingly almost done with Misty Bond. Like, we have this little segment here, another little segment here with these stumps. Kind of another tricky spot. If I fall, I'm going to be taking a bit the dip back to safety. And we have these fan chests yet again. So we're going to grab these. There are 15 gems. Gimme. Wrap back around here, did these last few, and we're actually done. There is another segment. There's a lot of stuff, but it's also a very nasty segment. There's a lot of the armored enemies with the knives that can easily get us if ever so slightly off. There's a lot of those fraud enemies. I made it look easy in the moment, but honestly, a lot of time they can hit me with their tongues. They come out very quickly. So there's just a lot that can go wrong, a lot that's just happening in Misty Bond. It's honestly like, for me, that stage is a lot like the flight stages where I had to kind of focus because there's a lot and I need to make sure it goes the right way. Treetops, I'd argue similar, but Treetops is really neat. It's also very infamous. If you play this casually, you'll know exactly why, because the name is very apt. You're on the tops of trees and stuff. You're basically going in trees, and this is one of the really big supercharged levels. Like if you've done this casually and you've gone for 100% or even 120, where you get the extra stage at the end of the game. This stage is probably the one that will give you a fit, because there's a lot of very tricky jumps with supercharges involved here. However, what have I told you? There was a slightly easier way to do one of them. So here's how I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do these gems real quick, just so I don't have to worry about them. And I'm gonna do a very weird thing with this. I'm gonna just kind of take it with me, go over here, and glide across. And there we go. That is one of the hardest super jumps in the game. If you do this casually, you will probably die a lot like I did. And this dragon is hilarious because his whole message is like, that was really cool what you did and everything. And Spyro kind of just mirroring the player a little bit, probably. It's just like kind of angry, and he's like, couldn't you have picked a better spot to be turned into a statue? By the way, speaking of super jumps, we'll also use that to just get across here and get our other dragon.
Alright, got a second for me to jump in there with a
yeah, go for it.
Alright, we do have an anonymous donation for $24.89, donating in support of round numbers. And that brings us both to an even $7.50, and it puts us at exactly halfway to upgrading to the 80% Extreme run from Metal Gear Solid. So we have another $150 to go to get that incentive unlocked for that difficulty upgrade. Again, changes the run completely. Extreme is a very cool category. You definitely want to see that. And we're running out of time to get that donation incentive met. So if you want to see that, now is the time to start getting those donations, and we want to see that Metal Gear Solid 80% Extreme happen. So if you can, donate. Especially if you want to see it. And don't forget to select your Backpack Hero costume choices as well. In that bid war, you can put your money towards both things at the same time.
Yeah, so that whole sequence, that was an intentional death. There is a way to do a jump where you do like a circle during the ramp. But it's very hard to build up enough speed to actually then use it to get to where you're going. So for me, it's easier to take a death there, go back to where go back to the last dragon I saved. That's the checkpoint I would have had, and then just redo that sequence in the way that I need to get it. But yeah, casually, that stage is pretty infamous because of just the way you have to go about it. The supercharge can be, if you're by that point, you're probably not too used to doing it yet still, and it's very easy to die a bunch there. Again, even in my own playthrough of it, I remember dying several times trying to get Jet in particular. But when you understand it, or if you're speedrunning it, you kind of have the hang of how to do that stage. It's honestly incredibly satisfying to pull it off. Also, don't mind Spyro. He just needed a little bit of green drink. It's just lemon lime Kool-Aid. Don't worry about it.
But he's purple.
Yeah, he's purple. That isn't purple. That's green.
Well,
There's a difference.
Be drinking purple.
I mean, purple drink is also good. But I am admittedly very much lemon lime.
So true.
But yeah, Metalhead it's also certainly a thing. There's a lot of the monkeys who we're seeing from treetops, except now some of them have armor, and at least to me look a little ape escape-ish. Like, maybe definitely not the same. I've seen the designs from that series; they are very different. But the helmets, for some reason, just kind of remind me a little bit of those. However, these ones are smarter. They are wearing more than shorts. They are wearing actual armor. By the way, there's Metalhead. He is actually named. He is a big metal thing, and he has a head. Metalhead. But the way we deal with Metalhead is not like a regular boss. Again, bosses in this aren't really fights. But instead, Metalhead is powered by all these different kind of like power conduit things. So what we have to do is charge through them and break them. And that will end up making him shut down. And it's kind of great. So, that was bad timing. That's okay. But there we go. Metalhead has run out of power. Metalhead.exe needs to close, and Metalhead is just going to go take a nap. You know, the eternal mood for a lot of people. Also, I see the joke, Metalhead solid. I mean, it's not wrong. But that's Metalhead. He has a head. He is metal.
Ah, that's why they call him that.
But yeah, as I did a little bit of wrapping up in Beastmakers here, if there's any messages, this would be a good time for them as we make our way to the second to last hub.
Yeah, for sure. So, for those who have recently joined us and you're not sure what's going on, you are watching twitch.tv/PowerUpWithPride. We are currently running our Fireside Pride 2024 event, formerly known as Winter Pride. We have rebranded it. We are cozy, hanging out, being warm and toasty, sipping some hot jockey, and watching some good runs, and raising some money for Point of Pride. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Point of Pride, they're a great organization. They're a 501c3 nonprofit organization here in the United States, and they've served tens of thousands of people in all 50 states and 100 plus other countries as well, by providing access to gender-affirming health and wellness services. All the money that we're raising goes to support their various programs. They have a transgender surgery fund, HRT access fund, and an electrolysis support fund. Those are all scholarship-like programs that help folks that need a little bit of financial assistance to get those services that they may need. They offer free chest binders and foam shapewear. for those that need or prefer to have those to meet their transition goals. Then they also have the Thrive Fund, which is a generalized fund for a wide range of other gender-affirming care and services. And things like, updating your ID, which is expensive and a pain in the neck in a lot of places. Vocal therapy, reproductive health services. They do a lot of great stuff. You can type !charity in the chat, and you can go to their website and check out more about them, learn how you can get more involved with their organization. Or if you may qualify for their services, you can find information on how to apply for those there as well. If you'd like to donate, !donate. And you can also hit !incentives to learn about our current donation incentives. The big one right now that we're pushing for is the Metal Gear Solid 80% Extreme, which is still sitting at exactly the halfway mark. We still have $150 to go on that one, and we are running out of time, y'all. So if you want to see that category upgrade to make the game exponentially more difficult, it changes throughout completely. It's going to make the run longer. You definitely want to get those donations in support of that. And there's also the Backpack Hero costume incentives. Don't forget, you can select both an incentive and a bid war on Tiltify, so make sure you're putting your money towards both things. And please, if you're donating, make sure you're selecting that target incentive, because otherwise that money goes to the void, and we have no way of recovering it to put it towards the incentive, because that is how Tiltify works, unfortunately.
It's at least not... It's not completely going into void. It is going into a very happy void, a void that helps a lot, that will help a lot of people. But it does mean it's a void that will not see Metal Gear Solid Extreme, so, yeah.
Yeah, it goes to the incentive void. The money goes to a good cause, but it doesn't go to an incentive. And, I mean, raising money for a great trans organization is a wonderful cause. But making Nick RP Green run through Metal Gear Solid on Extreme is also a pretty good cause, in my opinion. And we can get 2 birds with 1 stone there if we just donate a little more towards that incentive. Again, we have about $150 to go on that one, so get them in.
Okay, I'm actually surprisingly ahead of schedule on that, so I can do this instead, I guess. That's the first time I've had that happen. Most of the time I'm a little bit slower, and so the trains are a little bit further along. This time I kind of had to, I was kind of able to adjust that in a very nice way, and that is the final flight stage of the run. And we're actually going to be going up on our last boss, second to last boss confrontation, because the game is like confronting such and such, like you see right there. Honestly, for the way our gem count is, we should have just enough when we get through Jacquez. So hopefully that'll be the case. I need 244, it looks like, or 234, something like that. Either way, I know how much I need. I need to do it without taking hits like that low. That was certainly a start.
Yeah, I find that taking damage is usually not ideal.
No, it really isn't. And sometimes the charge just does a little bit weird like that and doesn't go where I want it to, so it just happens. But we're gonna kind of manipulate these over here. I'm gonna hit both of them. There we go. Ooh, that was a lot of not great movement. Okay, we're fine. Okay, we're fine now. Cause I did that, did my health back a little bit. We have Sparks at a nice, not totally healthy, but a decent blue. A decent shade of blue, he's fine. He's not feeling green anymore, and that's the important detail.
And you know what, so we're not feeling green anymore either, because we just got an incredibly generous $150 donation from Professor NES, putting it towards that 80% extreme incentive. So we did it, y'all. We got that incentive met. Thank you all so much for
I'm gonna
helping us
play this.
pull
I'm
it
gonna
out.
play this safe. I'm gonna ready set for gems, just in case.
Yeah. And we do have a message from them as well. And done. Maybe I can catch more of LA of Metal Gear Solid is slower. Smoke emoji. So thank you again, Professor NES, for helping us meet that incentive with that incredibly generous donation. That was literally half of the goal that we set for that incentive. That is huge. Thank you so much for helping us meet that incentive and supporting a great cause. And with that, again, we have met the Metal Gear Solid any percent extreme. So we might have to consider opening up another donation. We'll let you know whenever we have the next one picked and open up. But for now, you can also put money towards the Backpack Hero costumes. So if you have any strong opinions about those, you can start donating just towards those for now. And as soon as we have another donation open up, we'll let you know.
Yeah, I know y'all here. You will definitely have one up sooner rather than later. But now we're now in the final hub. We're actually in the North Nexus. Or I'm sorry, the North Nexus because reasons. But yeah, I mentioned the dragons here are all re-rescues of the previous ones. That was Delbin from back in Artisan's World. Apparently, they also went over here and also just kind of immediately got bodied. It happens. But we're done collecting things. We don't actually need to worry about those for the remainder here. It's for these. It's just get to the end. So this is the closest we have to like an actual just actually speedrun the stage kind of deal instead of speedrun collecting as much as we can and then finish this, and then unceremoniously leave the stage since we can't be bothered to go to the door that leads out. So if you wanted to see me do a stage legit, here you go. I'm finally doing one. We have this little Donkey-Kong segment where I jump over barrels. That's the whole thing. Run quickly through this little ship here. I missed the last one. I didn't set that up. There we go. Very good backup strat for that one. And then we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna kind of drop down, go through. Quick damage boost on the water there. Don't want to talk about that water. I'm not sure what it is. I just know Spyro doesn't like it, understandably.
All right, quick second
Also,
to jump in. So.
yes, but also I hear about pumpkin spice chocolate, and I'm interested.
It is quite a bit richer than I like usually, but it is pretty good. You just have to make sure it's watered down a bit. It's extremely pumpkin spice. But anyways, we did just open up some more goals to shoot for, as well as another bid war, I believe. Princess Peach Showtime. That's going to be happening later on today. There are two different goals that we're shooting for that one. They're both $150. There is a goal to save Mr. Mustache. I wonder who that could be. And another one for a bonus boss showcase. That run is going to be coming up in the evening, so there's plenty of time to meet that one. But definitely make sure, if you want to see that, you start throwing your donations towards one of those two targets. Or, if you want, you can make two smaller donations and put it towards both. However you want to do it, I believe in you, chat. We can definitely hit both of them before we're anywhere near that run if we put our minds and hearts and wallets together and support this cause. And for the costume bid war, make sure you go onto Google and check out those dresses because they're all super cute. And it's going to be really hard to pick one, so we're going to need your help to pick those and make sure you're voting for those costumes as part of your incentive as well.
I have really got to finish playing that game. That game is honestly pretty good. I just haven't gotten around to finishing it. But yeah, we're on the final confrontation. We're finally going after Nasty North himself after a surprisingly smooth Twilight Harbor. That stage can be very difficult. It's very easy to mess that up, especially if you're speedrunning it, because almost any mistake can prove deadly for you. I'm gonna focus for a second here. Good, got it. That key can be hard to get sometimes. But we have to get two keys, one for that door and one for the platform that actually has Nord. Until then, he's just gonna keep firing magical blasts at us that I'm guessing is how he transformed everyone into statues, but it doesn't do that to us, thankfully. But now we're actually able to get to him, so he runs. He knows what's coming. He knows what's coming, so he just runs. We only have to do 2 hits on him, so the second hit will be when I call time. So to be ready on that. As long as I do this right, we will get him as soon as I finish this loop. If I don't, we will end up doing 2 loops, and that will waste about 20 seconds. Which would have been good for the incentive for that. Which would have been good for Metal Gear Solid, but we met that, which is awesome. So that means more time for the other incentives now. But we have this final little platforming sequence. Gotta be careful here. If we die, we repeat the entire stage. There are no checkpoints. Time. And that is Nord. He is now toast.
You're toast, Nork.
He is now toast. That's how you toast Nord in under an hour. But there's a whole like cutscene thing. It's like, well, what are you gonna do now? Whatever. And there's actually another dragon that shows up in the hub to give us, that tells us like, hey, come back here when you get 100%. But I'm gonna check that as well, just to show our in-game time. Sub 36 isn't bad. It is, but that said, we don't actually go by that for PC runs. For PC, we actually have a loadless timer. For that, this would be a just under 43 minutes, which is still very good. But anyways, I guess some Twitch shoutouts. I don't have as many with the Spyro community because I'm not super involved in it. Like the main one I've talked to is like I said, Toasted Cat. Again, the world record holder, very good Spyro runner in general. Because they speedrun I think the entire trilogy. Or at the very least, I know they run this game and Year of the Dragon. But apart from that, I guess for myself, a little bit bitter than a little bit ago with Nightmare in Dreamland. Like I said, twitch.tv/BeamQueenSol. I go by that on most places. Like if you find me on Blue Sky or Twitter, I'd have the same name there. I'm more active on Blue Sky though, for reasons. Twitter is Twitter. But anyways, I do a lot of platform speedruns, especially Kirby. That's my main focus. But also I do dabble in a bunch of casual things. I dabble in Pokemon content as well. So I would love to have you if you did enjoy either of my runs from today. Do feel free to follow. And I hope to see you there. But otherwise, I won't linger on this. Thanks again to Power for Pride for. Thanks again to Power Over Pride for having me for 2 runs this morning. But I know there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff up ahead. Like especially like Metal Gear Solid, we have the extreme incentive met, so I know that's gonna be a good time. But anyways, Mina, I'm gonna give it back to you. Thanks again. This has been great for both of these runs.
Yeah, thank you, Sol, for both of your runs today. I do want to quickly point out that anyone in Lady Arcaders or knows Sol and I will agree that having us together in a voice chat was certainly a vote of confidence that we were not going to misbehave, because we share a brain cell. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, thank you so much for both those runs. It was great to hang out with you and see those
Of
runs.
course.
Yeah. Like our power level is too high when we're in the same place together. But that's beside the point. You're watching Fireside Pride 2024. I'm Mina. We're raising money for Point of Pride, but right now, y'all, we're in between runs. Metal Gear Solid 8% Extreme is up next, but it is noon 30 Eastern time, which means it's lunchtime. It's meds time for a lot of people. So get up, stretch, grab a drink, do what you need to do, take care of yourselves. And we're going to be back with Metal Gear Solid here in just a couple of minutes. So Don't go too far, because we'll be back shortly. I just realized I had been talking for a solid minute and a half to a deafened bot, and nobody could hear me. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Fireside Pride 2024. I'm still Mina. You are hopefully still watching twitch.tv/Power with Pride. And, yeah, if you're new around these parts, let me tell you what we are. So, Power Up with Pride is a charity marathon organization, about 8 years old at this point, created by and for the LGBTQIA+ speedrunning community, as well as allies of that community. We have 2 events that we run throughout the year. We have a summer and a winter event. This is Fireside Pride, our winter event, formerly known as Winter Pride. And we are partnered this time around with Point of Pride because we do raise money for various LGBTQIA+ charities. Now, Point of Pride, they're a trans-led organization. They do a lot of different great things. We've talked about it a bit before, but for those that are just tuning in or are like me and forget things quickly, let's run through some of those again real quick. Now, they are a trans-led nonprofit, a 501c3 for those of you in the States that are familiar with that term. And they've served tens of thousands of people in all 50 states, as well as 100+ other countries by providing access to gender-affirming health and wellness services. They have a bunch of different support programs that they offer. They have a few different scholarship-like programs to provide direct financial assistance to people who may need help with some of their gender-affirming goals. They have a surgery fund. They have an HRT access fund and an electrolysis support fund as well to help people, with those aspects of their transition. They offer free chest binders and femme shapewear for folks who may need those, as well as the Thrive Fund, which is a generalized fund for all the other stuff that doesn't really neatly fall into any one category. Things like updating your ID, vocal therapy, reproductive health services, things of that nature. They're a great organization that does a lot of great work. You can learn more about them with !charity. And if you think you can take advantage of any of their services, or if you'd like to volunteer any of your time to be more involved with that organization, you can find all that information on their website. Again, you can go to pointofpride.org, or you can go !charity to learn more about them. Now, for what we're doing here with Winter Pride 2024, Fireside Pride 2024, I'm still getting used to the rebrand, y'all bear with me. We so far have raised $1,100. We were at $900 before we stepped away for a little break in between these 2 runs. And we received an incredibly generous donation from Echo Parallax in the middle of that for $200. We are not even 12-hour runtime into this marathon. We've already broken $1,000. That's so wild, y'all. And thank everyone so much for being here, supporting the cause, even just, being a viewer and, sharing what we're doing on social media is a huge help. But that money is also a huge help. It's going to a great cause. That money did go to one of our currently open incentives, though. We had 2 incentives that we just opened up for Princess Peach Showtime, and that one, all $200 redues of it. I guess they're dollars. That's not Australian dollars, so they just be regular dollars. But we had 150 gold for the bonus boss showcase for Princess Peach Showtime, and all 200 of it went to that. So we blew right through that first of 2 target goals for Princess Peach Showtime. There's still $150 to go for Saving Mr. Mustache. Wonder who that could be. And then, of course, there's also the bid war open for the dresses. Don't forget, you can donate towards both a goal and one of our bid wars. And please make sure that you are selecting those incentives when you're going through and voting with your wallets on the various targets that we have going, because we cannot go back through and edit it later. Tiltify does not let us do that. There's also costumes open for Backpack Hero as well, so if you have any strong opinions about that drip, you have plenty of time to vote on those as well. So thank you again to everyone who's been donating so far. Whether you're donating your time as a volunteer or a runner for the event, whether you're just here watching and helping pump up the viewer count, whether you're spreading the word on social media, or you're just looking for a little bit of background noise for your day. We really appreciate you being here because we could not do these events without each and every one of you. But anyways, I think we should be getting closer to getting started on that Metal Gear Solid run. So I'm gonna pop over real quick and check in with them. For y'all, don't wander away too far because we will be getting that run started very shortly. But if you have any other things that you need to do real quick while there's nothing to watch, speak of the devil, they just finished up, so we'll get that run started shortly. I'm gonna help them get set up in this channel, and then we'll get that run kicked off. So if you need to top off your drink, now's the time.